So last week, we looked at the importance of the autumn season and how this is our opportunity for spiritual transformation. But we know that life can be a bit overwhelming, especially in a week where you have an important election ahead. A lot of people are feeling a lot of angst, and their spiritual cup may not be overflowing with greatness yet. So we're going to talk about how we need to do that. As I mentioned in Thursday's newsletter, when we feel overwhelmed, our ability to manage life on a day-to-day basis becomes a little distorted. It's very difficult for us. And so whatever stress we are experiencing starts to spill out on others. Think about your life for a moment. I want to ask you, if you were to think about the ingredients in your spiritual cup right now, as it is today in this very moment, what would those ingredients be? Will those ingredients bring you peace and joy? Or will those ingredients bring peace and joy to others? Or is the cup filled with things that are going to spill over and bring you more angst and bring that same angst to other people? The more we take on in life, the more we tend to fill our cup so full that it overflows. I experienced that last Monday, as many of you who were at the social justice meeting probably heard from Jeffrey. You know, the cup was filled, not with all the good stuff. As I was prepping to leave Tuesday morning and feeling like I had too many things on my plate, and he simply said, "Why are you going to that meeting?" "Why?" I said, "Because I have to be there. I invited everybody else. I've always gone to the meetings." He goes, "I'm going to ask you again. Why do you need to be there?" "I'm going. Others are going." What if you took that time to finish your list so you weren't up all night before you go to the airport? And it was so difficult. But in that moment, I thought, why did I feel the need to overflow with the wrong stuff? Why did I? Because we just get busy and we're not mindful in the moment to monitor that. But if our cup starts to be filled with negative energy, anger, disappointment, judgment, all of that is spilling out. And sometimes just on us, just judging ourselves, just saying we're not good enough, we didn't get enough done, there's too much, but can we do it all? It's a back and forth chaos, and we all fall into it on occasion. But we have to be able to say, where am I in this spiritual filling in this moment? Am I in a good space? Whether it's positive or negative, whatever is in that cup has to come out. And that's what I want you to think about today. What is it that you're carrying right now? Frederick and Marianne Broussard wrote an article about emptying your cup, and in it, they told this story, an old Zen story, about a professor and the teacher. And the professor goes to see the teacher, and the teacher pours the professor tea. But the teacher just keeps pouring, and it just keeps filling and filling. The professor's watching it, and he finally says, "I got to do something. I need to say something." And so he finally does. And this is what the teacher said back to him. "Like this cup, you are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" So once we empty our cup, then we need to have a solid foundation for keeping it filled. So one of the things I think could help us is Psalm 23. Now, I don't know how many of you learned this when you were kids, but I can tell you I remember reciting it at age 10, and I've never forgotten it. Standing in front of the church having to say this prayer. But the way it was said and the reciting of the words meant absolutely nothing to me. Honestly, until I got older and really could dissect what it says. So I'm going to have Jeffrey put the original version up. And I'm sure you all remember that it said, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down. Okay, you can stop there. I just want to make sure you knew. But here's what I want you to get. I broke it down for us. And I just want you to think about line by line how this could change our lives. The Christ Spirit is my guide. I have everything I need. I was made to lie down in green pastures, meaning life was meant to be good for me. Spirit is what leads me to that stillness so my soul can be restored. Through Spirit, I will always be led to the right path. Even in my darkest hours, I have nothing to fear. Spirit will always comfort me. I am prepared for what I need to face any challenge, those who challenge me. I'm spiritually filled and my cup runneth over. God's goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will live within Spirit forever. Now, when you hear it that way, you suddenly realize it was all meant to be positive and good for me. I'm taken care of. Spirit is if I go within, God is going to guide me. That Spirit will guide me. I don't know how many of you remember the line, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me, but I thought they were 3 people when I was a kid. I'm like, I don't want these people following me. I don't know who they are. But the point is, our cup was meant to be filled with good. We were meant to enjoy life. We were meant to find that inner peace, to find a way to restore ourselves, to be quiet, to be still, and to know that all would still be well. How many of us can say that those life qualities that I just read actually exist in us right now? The belief that all was meant to be good for me, all is coming to me, all I need to be prepared will be there for me. How many of us can say that? And how many of us are aware that our cup is spilling stress and fear and anger on a consistent basis? We're often intuitively aware of when this is happening to us, but can more easily observe when it's happening to others. We know by the looks on other people's faces, don't we? By how we've created stress for them. But sometimes we don't notice until they're fully stained by the negativity we gave them. So we need to be mindful that we will impact others if we aren't paying attention. But it's a simple recipe for us. Garbage in, garbage out. God in, God out. It's that simple. I hear it too.
It's a black pilot.
It's, pardon? Okay, if you have a black car, oh, there goes Corey. Check it out. Thank you, sir. If we think about a time this past week when our cup was overflowing with God's good, we might also remember how good positively impacted others. If we had good, we were spilling good. If we felt happy, we were spilling happy. If we felt worried, we were spilling worried. How many of you know when it's happening to you? Raise your hand. Okay, here's the problem. We don't stop the train wreck in time. Am I right? So we know it's happening. We all know. I know. I hear it, and I don't stop there. Not soon enough. But if we could just be mindful of what's going in and then take a moment to make sure that we were filling up. It's going out, it's negative, let me put something good in. Janine did that for me yesterday. We had an unexpected phone conversation. And right before I walked into the hospital to see Cresta, she and I had this amazing spiritual conversation, and my cup was filled. What she didn't know is that my cup was draining on the way to race to get Melody somewhere with her friends right before I called her. I'd flown back Friday night. I'd worked 80 hours last week, and then had a conference call at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday. And so when, she was running late, and she's telling me what time she has to be there, I was feeling my cup kind of drain a little. And then I called Janine, and I was like, I'm fine. I filled my cup back up. It's all good. And I was able to spill it out on somebody who needed a little bit. But if we do it like that, catch ourselves in those moments and fill it back up, we can be better at not letting it create such anxiety for ourselves and for others. So I'm going to share a few steps. First of all, what I just said about being mindful in the moment, acknowledge what you're feeling. Don't pretend it's not there. Acknowledge it. And when you acknowledge it, find the mini refuel. And remember this verse I'm going to share with you. It's from Galatians 5:22. And here's what it says. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. If you remember 3 of those, you'll be better. Okay? The key is to know that fruit of us is all good. Remember, it's all good. We were built that way. There's another factor to consider here, and that is that we sometimes give so much of ourselves to others, we become spiritually depleted that way. Not because we're having anxiety, but because maybe we wanted to help too many at once. So we have to monitor that. Even the good side of our cup can become depleted when we're people-pleasing or we're trying too hard. And this is when we just need to assess the situation and figure out what it is we need. And one of those comes from what I read from Psalm 23. And that is that we have to go in the silence and restore our soul. I don't know about you, but finding quiet time isn't as easy as it sounds. Sometimes I just drive around in my car with no radio, just to find silence and peace. We don't need to go, to the ashram. It's a nice idea, but we don't have to do that. We can find it anywhere. Taking a nature walk. Another option for us is to spend time being part of a community like we do on Sundays. I have said this repeatedly to you, but without having time with you on Sunday, my week is not the same. Because our energy together, we share it. We all are here for each other. It isn't about me and you, it's about all of us. And when we spend time in fellowship together, whether that's saying good morning or it's just sharing, a cup of coffee, when we spend that time together, we are helping each other find our peace. Those of you who volunteer, you get your cup filled by volunteering. The key is to make sure you don't over volunteer to where you want to run away because your cup is spilling out all the time and you don't have enough left for you. Meditation, music, all those things work. The key is to find balance. Half full, what are you going to put on top? Just try to monitor this coming week whether or not you can do that. I want to read this quote from Glennon Doyle in the book Untamed. It says, "We are mugs filled to the brim, and we keep getting bumped. Getting bumped is inevitable, but if we want to change what spills out of us, we must work to change what is inside of us." Imagine what it would be like if we were to spill nothing but our spiritual good every day. Let's review today's lessons. Letting our spiritual cup runneth over requires the following. Number one, acknowledge when our cup is overflowing and recognize that it's time to recharge. Number two, continually assess what's in our cup and be mindful of what is spewing out. Number three, identify what we desire and need. Keep our cup full of what nourishes us. And number four, be purposeful in spilling God's good to bring out the best of everyone. The affirmation I wrote for today is, I am spilling God's good everywhere. Let's say that together. I am spilling God's good everywhere. Oh my, we're going to do that again. That didn't sound like anything good. Let's say it like we mean it, okay? I am spilling God's good everywhere. There you go. Believing is important, just so we're clear. All right, I'm going to end with this quote. I love this. I thought of Oscar. I don't know why, Oscar. I thought of you with this one. The Holy Spirit fills up our cup of love in solitude and silence so we can be a source of refreshing love as we pour into others. Let's take that in. And so we pause for a moment just to reflect upon the importance of recognizing that we have to monitor our spiritual cup. That we have been given so many gifts of life. To lie in green pastures, to restore our soul, to know that all will be well from the guidance we receive, and to find ways to listen more to that still voice within us. And so we continue on this journey together, knowing that one by one, we will fill each other's cup and do the same for ourselves and spill nothing but good on one another. Amen.